So, here we have a quote from David R. Brower. Childbearing should be a punishable crime against society. Unless the parents hold a government license, all potential parents should be required to use contraceptive chemicals, the government issuing antidotes to citizens chosen for childbearing. So, two things actually. One, they don't want you to reproduce. They're going to chemically castrate you and give you an antidote, which we don't even know if that's going to be effective, for those that the government deems are acceptable to reproduce. And they will use eugenics to breed people who are more dumbed down and more likely to comply with government policies. So, they will breed people who flock like sheeps to their own enslavement. And this isn't just David R. Brower talking, this is way greater. Now, I also want to say, sometimes I have difficulty saying these sentences. A lot of times, these things are tongue twisters to read. Like, just read this for yourself. It's a tongue twister. Now, what is a tongue twister? This is a bit esoteric. This is a Freemasonic concept, but think of the letters of the alphabet like numbers. The fact of the matter is, anytime you see alliteration, I'd be a little bit suspicious. Now, the reason I have a difficult time saying this, in the last one we had, I'm going back here just for a second, this is off topic, there was advantages to achieve abundance. I struggled with that sentence. That is AAA, like the car company. AAA is 111. AA is often used by a lot of ruling elite characters like Francis Bacon, who helped found this country. He was a Freemason. Some people also think that he might have been Shakespeare, but that's another topic for another day. And Aleister Crowley also used AA. Now here we have contraceptive chemicals, CC, that's a 33. We also had another one here, I swear. Yeah, like I said, this is going a bit off topic, but I just want you to realize when I read these things and struggle reading them, it's because they use so much alliteration. Maybe I'm thinking of citizens chosen for childbearing. That's 3 C's in a row. I thought there was a different letter, but... Oh, potential parents. Potential parents. That's another one. All right. And then we have Ted Turner here, who says, a total population of 250 to 300 million people, a 95% decline from present levels would be ideal. Another interesting number. What did I say in that book? Every single... Well, I don't even... I'll grab it. Yeah, every civilization before now, it tries to claim 250 million people. This is one of those magical numbers to them, which I actually think is higher than it should be. All right, I have it pulled up here. All right, this is from Earth Search, a kids' geography museum, and a book. It says that's what it is. This book is a population or depopulation agenda book made for children. I had this book as a kid, and I found this whenever my mom basically tossed a bunch of my childhood books at me, and I looked through this one because I thought, oh, that's that book I used to read all the time as a kid. How fun would that be? Oh, wait, never mind. Actually, yeah. It was under, I think it's under 500 million is what the Georgia Guidestone says. I'm spoiling a little bit of this, but yeah, up until the year 2000, it tries to claim that world population has been under 500 million. Year 1,500, 500 million. Year 1,000, 500 million. Year 500, 400 million. Year 0, 300 million. 500 BC, 100 million. Either way, it's still interesting how they try to claim that we've always been below those numbers. The fact of the matter is, and I would not say that this is sustainable for life. Humans need more space than this. You could fit the entire population of the Earth in Texas. So, if we could all fit within Texas, Do you not think that we have enough space on this planet? Why are we being crammed into cities when we should be in the country like we were meant to be? When we should be farming like we were meant to be? Every single person on the face of the earth should have enough space for at least 5 acres of their own private land. Why are we crowded into cities with less than 1 acre of land, with these small little tiny boxed houses, with these small little tiny boxed lands? All right, so this is the initiative for Eco 92 Earth Charter. And within it, it says, the present vast overpopulation, now far beyond the world carrying capacity, cannot be answered by future reductions in the birth rate due to contraception, sterilization, and abortion, but must be met in the present by reduction in the numbers presently existing. This must be done by whatever means necessary. So, yeah, it's not just enough that we have contraception, sterilization, and abortion. What's left? They want to directly kill us. It's beyond its carrying capacity. That's another CC33. It cannot be answered by future reductions in the birth rate due to contraception, sterilization, and abortion, but must be met in the present by reduction in the numbers presently existing. This must be done by whatever means necessary. Now, here's another interesting topic. So they always like to throw that whole climate change argument in our face to justify the need for depopulation. So why do they throw this at us? Here's the thing. Even if you believe the narrative, which I'm not saying I do, but the fact of the matter is, even if you believe it, the only people creating all of these carbon emissions, creating all this worldly pollution, which they are doing, it is a problem for the earth, and it's a problem for our health. But the people doing this are the same people who are complaining about the climate crisis in the first place. Why are we being blamed for something that they're doing, and then they offer us the solution to kill us? Why are we the ones being killed in this scenario? We're not the ones causing the problem. You see my point. Now listen, I'm not calling, for anything necessarily. What I'm saying is they are telling us that they want to kill us and that we deserve to be killed for a problem which they've committed. By their own reasoning, they're responsible for these crimes because they control all these corporations which cause these carbon emissions. They control all the governments, everything in the entire world. And they want to put us on electric cars, which also use the exact same types of resources which we use for normal cars, except it's going to use even more of it. The estimation is about $17 per gallon for an electric car versus what we're paying now. And we don't even need to use the cars that we have now. You can technically power a car on water. But the guy who tried to do that, well, what happened to him? He's gone. It's almost like they want to create the problems and they want to create the solutions. Now, if you don't believe something's actually going on, if you don't believe that they're trying to kill us, then just continue listening to this. But if you're just going to bury your head in the sand, well, that's not going to save you from certain doom. Certain doom unless we can do something about this. I'm going to see what's going on in the chat right now. Dark Thought says, what is your opinion on the survival strategies of groups like the Amish? So I think in general, we do need to move to a less technologically based type society. I think the Mennonite method is a bit better. I think we can use technology to certain degrees. The problem with the internet is, and I'm using internet right now, I mean, that's obviously how we reach people. Internet is a double-edged sword because when you use internet, You're supporting them, you're giving them your tracking location. So if the government decided they wanted to off you, well, now they know where you're at. So internet is a huge downside, but also coming at it from the other angle, internet anymore is about the only way we can reach mass groups of people unless we were to stage something publicly. And when I mean stage something, I don't know, like we could get people together and try to talk about these things and try to present them. But even then, it's not guaranteed that our message is going to go much further beyond the place that we're doing our event at. So the problem is they make you reliant upon these poisons. For now, I'll use technology to get these messages out. We're sort of coming up on a point in which people are so reliant on these technologies, though, that if the technologies go out, this is another argument for their depopulation agenda, the technology goes out, people will just kill themselves, and most people are in these cities. So that's most of the population gone. A lot of people couldn't survive on their own. And if you want to survive on your own, actually, yeah, here's another critique I can give towards the Amish. The Amish actually grow their own food, which is necessary, and I think you should learn to grow your own food. But the fact of the matter is, if the ruling elite get what they want and you're able to survive, like you're able to evade their end times agendas, then you're going to need to learn to scavenge for food. So you have to know what types of plants you can eat and what types of plants you can't eat. So probably the most important thing to survival, at least on an individual level, I would say is learning to scavenge for foods. Because people can always take your foods, they can threaten you at gunpoint, which you'll also need weapons and lots of ammo. Ammo is basically going to be the currency of the future if we're in a scenario like this. You'll need ammo. You'll need to know what types of plants you can and can't eat. You'll need to know what to do in certain types of situations, where you're going to go. So there's a lot of issues with this. Now, the Amish, I think, generally have a good idea. They're outside of the cities, so they'll be safe for that for a time being until people realize that they can steal things from the Amish, which would be a problem for them. So, in a nutshell, that's my thoughts on that. He says, hold up, I missed something. Dark Thought says, when I'm in a bad mood, I go to the graveyard and complain to the ghost in the graveyard. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad thing to do. Whenever I got something to complain about, I just do it online. I used to write like a bunch of these angry posts, but then they never actually influence anybody about anything. It's sort of like if people want to learn about something, they have to be in a state in which they're willing to receive the knowledge, which we're trying to give here. People have to be willing to receive the knowledge in order to give it to them. And that's sort of a problem sometimes when you have necessary information like this about an entire group of people who was trying to kill off everybody or most people to where the world's population is potentially lower than 200 million, if that. And